Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Steve from Linux, by the way, and today I'm really excited because behind me I have the brand new ASUS 5K 27-inch display. So previously you could only get a 27-inch 5K display really from Apple in the form of the Studio display, which A, was made by Apple, B, was very expensive, and you had to pay more for different stand options and things like that. And the big factor here is that it also was only 60 Hertz. The monitor I have is called the ROG Strix XG27JCG, and it has a number of key features that I wanted to highlight. So this thing can go up to 180 Hertz at 5K, or you can drop it down to QHD resolution and you can get 330 Hertz. It's still IPS, which is something that I love because there's a lot of things out there right now about OLED screens are so great or tandem OLED screens are so great, etc. But I don't like them if you're going to be doing it professionally day in, day out. Like, they're great if I'm looking at my phone for a second or whatever, or if I had like a 15-minute job. But if you're programming or gaming for long periods of time, I still think IPS has less eye strain. You're gonna see a number of things online about PWM and things like that. And on every OLED thread, you will see like at least one person comment about eye strain. It's a real thing and I think it matters. And so I still prefer the IPS displays. And in the case of MacBooks, for example, they don't use OLED yet, and I think that's for that same reason. And when ASUS made this display, they really didn't make any compromises. So this can do media creation, it can do productivity tasks, and it can do gaming. And it has things like a 97% DCI P3 color accuracy for when I do my videos, but also it's very fast, so it has a 0.3 ms G to G time, and it reduces tearing and motion blur, and so it's going to be very accurate for playing games without the normal sort of artifacts. It also supports G-Sync, so you can get that technology built in. And then it's HDR 600. When we're talking about HDR, I normally turn that off on my displays, and that's because I don't like that variable level brightness where like this piece of screen is super bright and this piece of screen is off. I like a more consistent view, but it has that capability. And more importantly, what that means is that the backlight is very powerful. So if you buy a lot of budget displays, they're like 250 nits or 300 nits, this one will have no problem with brightness no matter what environment you're in. And if you're asking yourself right now, what is a 5K display? Why would I want one? Well, a big deal in Linux is that you want to have the proper display scaling. So the Framework 13, you can scale that up to 200% and it works perfectly on their higher resolution screen. And this is now the same for desktops. So in a lot of my systems, what I have to do is something called fractional scaling. And it's sort of a minefield because a lot of people don't know this, but you can't just scale things up perfectly, right? So if you can imagine everything on your screen is a bunch of boxes that you're seeing right now, well, you can't times them by like 1.25 and make the perfect picture. So you have to end up shoving pixels exactly where they don't go, and things get a little bit blurry. And the same thing is for fonts. So the fonts have to line up on the screen, and there's technologies like ClearType, which can make it look better by altering them, but it's not perfect. And so the 200% display scaling means you can scale anything up perfectly and it will just work. And that means that everything is gonna look super sharp, or what Apple calls retina. And so in this case, 5K to us means 5120 by 2880 at 27 inches, which results in 218 PPI. Now, if you compare that to other 27-inch displays, you're gonna have a normal 4K display, which is 3840 by 2160, which is 163 PPI. Or if you have a QHD display, which is 2560 by 1440, that's gonna be 109 pixels per inch. And so you can see that massive difference, right? So that's literally double the pixels per inch, which means you can get very close and everything's gonna look perfectly. And that's what I've been waiting for a while. And with all those pixels, we're gonna need some power. So you see AMD and NVIDIA coming out with things like frame generation technologies or super scaling or things like that to try and keep up with the display resolution. Well, in this case with 5K, we're talking about a lot more, right? Even the difference in PPI between 163 and 218 is pretty massive. Now, Apple has had this for years, right? They've always been high PPI for like the modern Apple, and that includes from the 32-inch XDR display on down, and they can push those pixels, but their gaming story is really poor, right? So they don't always run into the same thing. And when you do find people gaming, they are definitely lowering the resolution, even with those M-series chips, which are super powerful. And so to go along with the new display, I went to Micro Center and I got the PowerSpec desktop with a 5090, so we can drive that with the best card available in 2026 at this point. Maybe they come out with new ones or whatever, but I just want to see, like, can we run this thing? Can we game on it? Or do we always have to drop it down? And again, this does support the QHD mode though, which I'll probably use because I really want the 5K for making videos and programming. I don't really care about gaming because the text is usually clear even at lower resolutions for me, but we'll check that out at both resolutions and just see how it runs. I'm also interested because my capture cards probably can't capture at 5K, and so what I'm gonna have to do is, just like I'm filming right now, we're gonna have to just film the monitor itself, because my capture cards say they can do like 4K 60, but this is at 5K, and so I'm gonna be going through DisplayPort instead of HDMI to hook this up, and I'm gonna be using G-Sync and all that, and so I just don't think it will make sense to try and run that through the Elgato stuff. But let me know in the comments below if you can already capture 5K or 8K using some sort of pass-through, because I'm really interested in that. But what I don't want to do is add latency. So I just unboxed the LG, and I want to show you for comparison. This is the Dell S2725QS. I literally have 4 of these in the office because you can use them for everything. They're under $300 on Amazon. I put a link below, and it has been my go-to monitor. It's a 27-inch 4K display with IPS. And so it has great viewing angles, and you can use it for games and media and all that. It's not on the same level as the ASUS, of course. I just wanted to show you that in terms of the enclosures, this Dell is a little bit thinner than this because of the hardware and everything that makes that 5K display go. And so you're probably talking about a 1/4 inch or so difference, but it is worth noting. And these are different quality stands with different features also. In terms of the quality of ASUS, the stand is really great. So it's got this metal plate at the bottom, which is awesome because if you go to Apple and you go to get the XDR display, getting a metal stand is gonna cost you like $1,000. This one's included, it's free, which is cool. However, the plate's metal, and then this is very sturdy. It's still covered in plastic. So the base plate is solid metal. The assembly is super easy. You just do one screw, and then it goes up and down, and we can also go left and right, or we can tilt it in portrait mode. So if you're a programmer and you wanna kind of go back and forth or whatever, this is a great stand for that. In terms of the feel and the hinge and all that too, it's not wobbly or anything, so it's very tight and it's able to kind of just move fluidly where you need it to and then stay in position. So I really like this, definitely high quality. And it does have like the gamer vibe in the back here, so you can see it's got all the ROG type branding and all that, and it actually comes with stickers and a bag for your cables and everything. So if you like that, cool. And for me, I'm gonna be looking at it from the front anyways. It's up against a wall, so I'll never see that, but if you're looking for a non-gamer monitor, this might not be it just due to the style cues. For the PC we're hooking up to, I got this PowerSpec G914, which is one of the highest end power specs you can get. So it has an AMD 9950X3D, it's got an MSI Tomahawk 870E series motherboard, and then it's got a Gigabyte RTX 5090 with 32 gigs of VRAM. So this will run perfectly with Omarky, and we'll go ahead and test that out and see how it works. You can see here that the design of the case is very glass focused, so it's not only glass side, but it's also glass front, which changes the cooling options a little bit. So the actual radiators are mounted on the top and on the back side instead. And then in the bottom here, we have the power supply with a grill on the bottom that can filter dust and all that, but it's a pretty nice looking PC. These ones only come in white, so I think if you get the black ones, it's normally Intel. Although I am excited for Intel's new processors, but we haven't seen them, we haven't got our hands on them yet, so I can't say if I recommend them. Right now, I still only recommend AMD at this point. So the first thing we're gonna wanna do is install Omarky on the computer. I love these Samsung keys. I'll put a link to Amazon below, but sometimes you can get like a cheap USB key and I don't trust them, and sometimes they have like weird errors and whatnot. I have this very odd setup at the moment because my other computer is right next to this one, so we can do like a side-by-side comparison of the monitors. So not leaving it like this, but this is just the temporary setup for the video. So let's fire this thing up, see what happens. So we got PowerSpec here, and immediately it goes into Windows. It says, adjusting this item will change the power consumption. We'll select no there. And so you can see that the display itself looks good. This is a 5K display, so a lot of Windows devices are not used to that, so we can see what it looks like. But the most important thing about just turning it on right now is there's not like red dead pixels or anything here. The display itself looks great. Other than the Windows logo, we gotta fix that immediately. So we can go ahead and exit out of this. And this is one of the things I was interested in, is how do the BIOS screens work with the 5K? Sometimes I've noticed they go super slow. So even I have the X1 Carbon here, and this is a 1920 by 1200, but when you boot into BIOS, like the graphics driver isn't fully loaded yet, and so it's super slow. And it looks like this is looking pretty good here. So I can go up and down, it's real time, it's not like refreshing slowly or anything. So let's go ahead and pick the Samsung drive. In order to boot this up, we're gonna have to go into the BIOS, and we're gonna have to disable secure boot. Usually that's pretty easy. Let's see here. There's secure boot, and we will just go ahead and click disabled, and that will let us boot into Omarchy, and then hit F10 to save and exit. There we go. It does take like sometimes even 30 seconds on most computers to disable that or not. I think it has to talk to the BIOS and the TPM or something. And there we go. So the one thing I'm noticing right off the bat is that this is pretty dim. So I have my other monitor next to it, much brighter. And I don't even actually set my monitors very bright. So on a normal Dell monitor, I'm setting like 40% brightness. So I think right now we might have HDR or something on. So let's check out the menu. And so if we go here, you can see the ROG menu. It's probably pretty small in your view. It looks okay in mine. Under DisplayPort, you can see that we're at DisplayPort 1.4, which will allow us to get up to the proper resolution. Right now, we're actually running at just 4K resolution, which makes sense because we're just getting things set up and we got to get all the drivers installed. If you see here under gaming, it also supports the variable refresh rate. We do have HDR off at the moment. Let's go ahead and, yeah, the brightness right now is at 10. So I'm gonna crank that up for the video, and this should look good on your end too. I probably prefer this around 44 or so. All right, looking good. And so we'll just enter a few things here. And so everything looks good here. So let's go ahead and hit install. And we have a 2 terabyte NVMe drive. This is the Samsung 9100 Pro, which should be very fast also. So let's go ahead and install this. This is gonna be pulling straight from Cloudflare, the way that Omarchy is set up. And so it's usually really fast. We'll have to see how long it takes. And there we go. Even with installing the NVIDIA driver and everything else, we finished in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So you gotta love how fast that is. And so you can see we booted into Omarchy, but by default, we're using 4K. So it's 3840 by 2160 at 60 Hertz. And we wanna be at 5K. So let's go ahead and open up our monitor config. We'll go to setup and then monitors. And this is where we control everything. We have the scale at 200% already for the GDK, but the monitor settings are wrong. So what you can do is pull up in another terminal and type hyperctl monitors all. If you look down here under available modes though, this can go up to 5120 by 2880 at 165. Now I haven't done any tweaking or any changes or anything, so we might be able to get this up to the full 180, but also 165 should be a good start. And so what we can do in our Hyperland config is when you do the hyperctl monitors all, you'll see the device name. In my case, it's DisplayPort-1 or DP-1. And that's all you gotta do is put that in here. So you just do monitor and you say DP1. And in this case, we're gonna do the 5120 by 2880 at 165, auto, and then 2 for 200% scaling. And so when we do that, that's gonna reset the monitor. It's gonna come back at its new resolution. And now when we activate the ASUS screen, we see 5120 by 2880 at 165, which is perfect. So this is now 200% scaling. So I'm gonna quit out of that, and then we can go to like Chromium or something just to check the scale of things. And so yeah, you can see here, this looks just like a regular 27-inch monitor, but the difference is the font clarity. So me being here in person, when I get up close to this, you don't see any pixels. It's all perfect. So if we pull up a site like Hacker News, you can really see from a PPI standpoint that all of these fonts are just rendered pixel perfect. There is no blurriness or clear type needed or anything like that. My head is right up here and it looks fantastic, just great. And having this 165 Hertz refresh rate set up, everything is super smooth. So there's no blurring, there's no like frames going back and forth. You can't tell in the video because I record the video at 29.97 frames per second, and that's how you watch it on YouTube. But in person, this is very nice, very smooth. Everything looks great here. On the setup, I have them side by side identical. And again, you probably can't see this on YouTube because even if you're watching at 4K, well, this is 5K and this is 4K, so you're never gonna get that resolution through. But what I can say is that this display is clearer in every way. So all of the fonts, all of the rendering, all the outlines, everything is more clear on the ASUS display than it is on the Dell display. In terms of the setup, this is at 200% scaling, and this is at 150% scaling. And so you can see almost everything relatively looks the same size. The difference is that everything on here has more pixels making it up. And so there's no trying to shuffle the grid to try and match those up or half align them. Everything is pixel perfect here, sharp edges and everything. Whereas here, if you were to get very close, you would see slight blurring. I'm gonna try and put the camera up there and see if we can capture that or not. And so if we go very close up here, this is the 4K display, and my camera is like an inch from the monitor, right? So that's how it looks right there. Now, if we go to the 5K display, you can see it's just everything is clearer here. And again, I'm about an inch from the monitor. but every line is just perfect. It's scaled perfectly. Everything looks just fantastic there, which you would expect because there are more pixels. So I've had a lot of time with the ASUS 5K now, right next to the 27-inch 4K I have, and I really like the 5K. So I didn't think it was gonna be that big a difference. Like when I started the idea for this video, the whole thing kind of all in cost around $6,000, right? You gotta get a computer with a 5090, and then the ASUS monitors somewhere around like $900 or so. And so I was like, all right, I'll try them out and just see how it is. But what I'm coming from is a pretty new setup, right? So I have a 9800X3D, and that's hooked up to a 4K 27-inch with a 5080. And so it's no slouch, it's a great computer, and that whole setup probably costs around $3,000. And so I thought that was pretty much good enough, and I would just play with the stuff, make a video, and it'd be fun. But what I'm realizing now is that I actually love this 5K display, and it also solves a whole bunch of Linux issues for me. So like normally when I open Steam up, it's slightly the wrong size, and then I go to the preferences menu and I adjust it, and it's this whole annoying little thing which I didn't think much about until I have the 5K display. With the 5K display, the scaling just works. I didn't have to tweak anything or do anything. And then that followed through to games. So I was kind of curious about like, what performance will I get on 5K? Well, I fired up Baldur's Gate last night. Now, obviously this is on the 5090, but on Baldur's Gate, I was getting over 100 frames per second at 5K. And so it's working really well. And also, surprisingly enough, the 9950X3D is like a lot faster than my 9800X3D. So when I'm doing the shader compilations and all that, I am seeing it boost up to 5.6 gigahertz, which is a lot more than my 9800X3D. And so I kind of have all these hardware changes that I was like, oh, there'll probably be a little bit of increase, but I really like it now. So I'm gonna take some time and make this my new primary computer and swap this over, because there's no way I'm gonna switch back anymore. I'm definitely using this. And I think that's kind of my recommendation for the review, is that there's a lot of ways you can spend $900. You can go get like, you know, a bunch of coffees from a retail chain or something, or you can spend it on gas driving around, or all sorts of things. But with displays, I found that it's always worth it because they last freaking forever, and it's just something you use day in, day out. And so I have no qualms with recommending this at $900. Maybe you can find it on sale somewhere as it gets more available. I did check today and it was already sold out again. So I had pre-ordered it and it got here, but then it was sold out on the ASUS site. It might still be available on Amazon. Again, I'll put a link below if you want to check that out, but it seems to be a pretty popular monitor at the moment. And I'm gonna make a second follow-up video on gaming with it, and I'll do some more gaming benchmarks and things like that, but we're already at like almost 20 minutes at this point. And so in terms of the monitor, A+, highly recommend. And I'm also noticing the difference in color accuracy between the Dells. So just looking at this display, I can see a lot more colors and it's a lot more accurate. And I wouldn't have noticed if they're not side by side, but they are. And so I definitely highly recommend it. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off the stand now. So even though I like the stand, I have the standing desk, it goes up and down, and I'm gonna go ahead and mount it on there because that means it's the real deal. I'm locked in, I'm going with it, I've screwed it in. It's my new system. So until next time, see ya.